Hi guys, I hope you're well. A quick message before we get into this episode. Unfortunately, at the helm of technology, things happen and my camera angle isn't visible in this episode. So, for those watching on YouTube, you'll see my wonderful guest in real time, but I will be static. Although I am gutted that you can't see the vibes between us, it really doesn't take away from how engaging this conversation is. So please enjoy and watch to the end. Now, back to the episode. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of We're Menstrual, the podcast. I'm your host, Candice, and this is a series of conversations about the ebbs and flows of life and a safe space to discuss periods. So we have another guest on the podcast today. She is an ex-professional footballer. She is also an endometriosis advocate, which is fitting for Endometriosis Awareness Month. And for those of you that love the shows about love and about finding the one, she's the people's favourite from Love is Blind UK. Please welcome, all the cheers, all the claps, everything, Demi Santana-Brown.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you for having me, Candice. Appreciate
How are
it.
you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I, as I was saying to you when I was walking in, I was very surprised at how warm it was today.
Yep.
So I have felt a bit flustered on the walk here.
You just don't know what to wear.
Yeah,
is it
literally.
Like the jacket, not
is it the jacket? Is the sunglasses? Do
Yeah.
you bring the umbrella? Do you leave the umbrella?
Yeah.
Like living in London and the UK,
Just bring
it's
it all.
just bring it all. You're literally a bag
That's why we
lady
have
every
them
single
big
day.
bags.
Every single
Yeah.
day. So we've got a lot to cover and I'm very excited to talk to you. And I would like to start from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about your family upbringing. Got siblings, where'd you grow up, childhood memories?
Yeah, great. So yes, I have brother and sister, and grew up all my life in Southeast London.
You lot are so
Big it
patriotic.
up.
Everyone from South really just loves being from South.
Because it's what
Like, what is
SE.
it that you love about South?
I just think South is a serious. You see the alliteration, South serious.
South serious? Okay.
Yeah, it's a serious postcode. I just feel like it's I don't know. That's all I know. Basically,
Yeah.
that's all I know. I feel like, I've just spent my whole childhood and adulthood in South.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of core memories in the area. So, the local football clubs and the local youth clubs growing up. Yeah, just a lot of memory.
Love that. I love that. Family life?
Yeah, so mum, dad, working class, very like work driven, never went without throughout my childhood.
Yeah.
But also know the value of the things that are brought to me.
Yeah.
Like was given chores from
Yes,
a young age.
yeah.
It's like, really, mum?
What was your worst one? What one do you
I-
hate the most?
Worst,
Yeah.
hoovering the stairs.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't mind that, because I can put headphones in and just not
Up and
into
down
it.
the stairs. No, actually the worst one, and I'll tell you a little secret,
Go on.
is the washing up.
I hate washing up.
Yeah, I used to put the fairy liquid to the point where you could taste the fairy liquid. And my mum would be like, "Oh, is that you again?" I'd be like, "Yes." And she'd be like, "Oh, you can't wash up no more." I'm like, "Oh,
washing up.
yeah, washing up. Like, what is
I
that?"
hate washing up.
Even to this day, as an adult,
I hate washing
Yeah.
up. As soon as we got a dishwasher, I was like,
you've upgraded.
We've upgraded.
I'm still here washing up.
We've upgraded. But I say that, but there is something very therapeutic about my hands being in water.
What? And they go all like soggy.
No, do you know what? I feel like in another life, I was part of the SeaWorld.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
Because I literally am like a fish. Like
Okay.
whenever I go on holiday or in the swimming pool, I'm that person. Have you seen that meme of like black people in the swimming pool and they're like trying to do a cartwheel, they're swimming like this, putting their feet on the side, putting their foot on the top.
Yeah.
I'm that person. I literally love the water.
Oh, okay.
And it's because of that, I prefer showers to baths because that feeling of the water coming down on me, I just find it really therapeutic. And then washing my hands in the, I don't know, there's something about it that I find therapeutic still. Even though I've got a dishwasher, sometimes I will choose to wash up because there's,
By choice.
you said.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know what I do hate as well? That my categoric worst is like taking everything off of a shelf, dusting the shelf and putting everything
dusting.
back on. Like
yeah.
if I could dust without moving stuff, we're
Yeah.
good. But that take off, that like deep clean,
Yeah.
gosh, I have to mentally prepare for
True.
that.
And sometimes it doesn't even make it back on the shelf. Because seriously, when I'm cleaning, I'll start one place and I'll end up somewhere else. And, you know, like everything is going on at once. And then you hit that point where it's like, why am I doing this? And then I stop. And then I realise that basically everything is still out of place.
Absolutely.
And I've made it worse than what it was in the first place. And I'm like, why?
Yeah. I completely relate because also when I'm doing a deep clean at the end of the year, when you're like cleaning out and seeing what's going on, I'll end up with a hat on.
Yeah.
A random heel.
You got your little gilet, whatever it is. Yeah.
Reading that card thinking, oh wow, this was such a nice message.
And then in your pockets, you've got like key rings. What is all of this?
Honestly.
From years ago, postcards.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, no,
that's crazy
funny.
because like trying to do a deep clean without getting distracted is like
hard.
No, it's if you can do it, A1
as well. Like
absolutely. I'm going down the stairs like this in the hill because I'm going downstairs to get some popcorn to just have a break. Then all of a sudden I'm watching a YouTube series, and then it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and then TikTok starts scrolling. Yeah,
exactly.
No, it's
and now you've not cleaned, and I've just got to put everything back where it came from.
Back where it come from?
Yeah,
I find under the bed. I find behind the door. I just like out of sight, out of mind.
I hear it. So now we know that that's not your favourite chore.
No, that's not. So growing up, had the chores, and but was rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
So I would know if I do my job, my mum and dad will reward me nicely.
Yeah.
Christmas will be a very nice Christmas. Birthdays will be a nice birthday.
Yeah.
And so on. But really, really kind of was taught from young, like what like a happy household looks like as well.
That.
Like I'm very grateful and I'm very mindful that not everyone has the same kind of experiences. But in terms of like growing up, I always saw my mum and dad looking after one another and
so
being there
nice,
for one another, but also like more importantly, being there for their children and prioritizing our needs over their own.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I've had a very pleasant upbringing, and I'm forever grateful for that.
Yeah, and that
so
is
big
lovely.
up mum and dad.
Big up mum and dad, honestly, because think that like even looking at how children grow up, you can sense when they come from a happy home because they're always smiley and they just have this extra level of joy about them, and it makes such a difference to how you see like connection, loyalty, all of those things that make up a good relationship when you see it reflected in your house, because they say that's the first place that you make a decision on what type of person you're going to become and two, who you're going to be attracted to. So I think that's great that you've had such a positive example growing up.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm forever grateful for that. And like even like, with my younger brother as well, being middle child, you know how people say you got like middle child.
Are you middle child?
Yeah, I'm middle child.
Are you the only girl?
No.
Okay.
But like what everyone's onto that, I was middle child. I'm like, what? Maybe I did seek a little bit of attention, because my time was short lived.
It is.
I wasn't the first.
Yeah, and you're not the baby.
Last.
Yeah.
So I was just the interim. I was in the
in between.
in between. But in terms of like that, I don't mind that role, and I think, I do laugh. I do make jokes with my mum, and I'm like, oh, Tyler's your favourite, like because he's the boy, the young. But I know my mum and dad don't really have favourites. They just love us all. But I used to really like try and look after my brother and like be his leader in the sense of like I used to make him play schools with me at a young age. I think that's why he's really intelligent as well, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you have to attribute it to yourself. Yeah. You're the person that gave him
I
the
may have got
intelligence that he's
C's and
got.
D's in school.
Yeah, but you
he
sacrificed.
got A's. But because I sacrificed.
You sacrificed.
So as long as
you're
he
only
knows
intelligent,
that,
so he could be smart.
Yes.
I get you.
So I'm so, what's the word that I'm looking for?
You're so selfless. You're so selfless.
I am honestly so selfless.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't thinking about me.
You weren't thinking about
I was thinking about, him getting that A star in year 10.
Wow.
Yeah, he took early maths.
See? And genius.
Came
from you.
Came from me because in year 7, when I've got you doing schools after school, pretending and giving you detention to stand outside my room because you haven't covered the maths homework.
Yeah.
Obviously,
all lessons and learning
all
to prepare him for that A-star. Yeah. No, commendable, honestly.
Yeah, thank you.
Honestly.
Thanks.
Honestly. It's fantastic.
No, but seriously, yeah, I just love it. I just love
Yeah.
doing all that. But I don't, especially like even growing up, I'm always that person who wants to bring everyone together, especially my family.
Yeah.
Because I love my family, and I think it's like one of the most important things.
Yeah. And so much of family shapes who you become as you get older. Moving into like your teen and like 20s,
Yeah.
have you got any core memories from then in terms of the person you were becoming or where your interest came from?
Yeah, so, well, I am the middle child, and I think a lot of people were expecting me to be a boy, right? And I think my dad just wanted his son to like take football around those times. But luckily, he still wanted to take me football.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of inspired me and sparked my love for football.
Okay.
Because it was like mine and my dad's bonding. So every week I knew on a Saturday I'd go and watch him play football. So, yeah, and then I just turned around and was like, hey, I think I could do this. Because a lot of the men used to bring their sons to football.
Yeah.
You know, as kids, you get a bit bored watching the football match. You end up playing on the pitch across the pitch and then just kicking a ball. So I used to get involved with the boys. And it turned out that I wasn't too bad. So I was like, you know what, Dad, I want to get into a team. And he was like, yeah, go on then. So he got me into a team.
I love that he just encouraged you to do it.
Yeah, anything I kind of, well, apart from one time I told him I want to be a singer, I want to be on TV, right? Yeah, and he was like to me, yeah, I could get you on TV.
Yeah.
You could be a singer. So I'm in the car like, yeah, I can't wait. He was like, we'll do it when we get home, yeah? So we get home, yeah? And he goes, all right, now you can stand on top of the TV and sing. So I was like, no, that's not what I meant. But he was like laughing.
Yeah, I'll
like,
get you on the TV
like,
and sing.
Man thought he was a joker.
Yeah.
Like, still as an adult, yeah, when I tell you the heartbreak in that moment was that.
Do you know what? Your talking voice sounds like you'd have a good singing voice.
Nah, thanks. I got a karaoke one.
Okay.
Not a. Yeah, I got like one that you like. If people were intoxicated.
Yeah.
At the
think,
pub,
wow.
they'd be like, "Girl, you can sing."
Meanwhile,
yeah.
if you're not,
it's you're like, drinking water that night. You're like, "Girl,
what's going on here?"
No, I might catch you on 1, 2, but then the third, you'll be like, "Oh, bit out of sync." What's good? Do you know what I mean? But yeah. So that was originally the first dream, was to become a superstar singer.
Yeah.
But no, I realised that I was better with my feet than what I was with my vocals. So yeah, got into football quite young, probably about the age of 10, like year 5.
Okay.
Yeah, 10. And it turns out that I wasn't actually that great. I just knew how to toe punt a ball.
What does that mean?
Like you just kick it with the front of your toe. So if the ball come to you, what would your natural reaction be?
Go to the side. Am I a baller?
You're actually a baller. You're
Really?
basically a professional.
No way.
Yeah, you're basically pro.
Listen, somebody sign me.
Sign.
Yeah, I'd like to be signed. I'd like to be signed.
You
Thank
said
very
go to the side.
Yeah.
And the way you even positioned your foot.
If the ball's coming towards
Yeah.
me, I would go like that.
What side? Yeah, that was good.
Really?
Yeah, that took me a whole year to learn.
Really? So
Yeah.
what, you was doing this?
I was just toe blowing it, every bit of, but it went far.
Yeah.
But my toes felt like they were going to break. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously there was a bit of like sharpening up that I had to do. But my dad, you know, anything I would say I want to get better at, he'd be like, all right, then let's do that. So he used to after work get his tin paint, like because he's a painter and decorator, get his paint tins out of the van and set it up in a line, and then he'd make me dribble in and out of the cones after
Resourceful.
work. Resourceful, you know what I mean? And we used to do that, and then he'd take me to the park, and then I wanted to learn how to do a crossbar challenge. Basically, just taught me everything, and then I enjoyed like the first 5 years of just being part of a team and really enjoyed going on tours and stuff. But then I realised I was actually starting to get a lot better.
Yeah.
And I started getting fitter. And then I got on a trial with Millwall. Oh, wow. And I got into Millwall. And then like some of the pictures and the training that I went through with Millwall was insane.
What's it like? Like what does training look like?
What, in an academy?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, obviously in school days, like you still have to go to school, but after school, like you're training like twice a week and then playing. So it's 3 times a week. But then on top of that as well, you've got like a training program.
Okay.
So like you would do independently, like your runs and stuff like that. But like training was serious. Like I used to go to training and crack jokes with people and laugh. And now it's like you come to training, you listen, you train.
And that's it.
Yeah, and water break is you consume water and you don't talk amongst yourself. Like it was very serious, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I knew every week I was learning and I was progressing.
It builds discipline as well.
Yeah.
Focus.
It does. And then it built that fight to be a team. Like, we don't want to go out on a Sunday and lose. We want to win. Or is it Saturdays? I don't know. On the weekend.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose. We want to, and then, if you do lose, the minibus on the way home is silent. Because there ain't no jokes. On the minibus on the way there, it's like, woo, yeah.
Vibes.
On the way back, it's like, nah.
Yeah, penny drop.
But yeah, it taught me from very young, like, how to be a part of a team and the importance of, being as one, but not just being one. Yes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So coming together.
That's really important. And you can tell that. I don't watch football often, but when I do, you can tell when a team's clearly had a coach or manager that's given them that kind of advice. Like, you're all individual, but we play as one. So like, just
you're
be
only
on
as
side
strong
with
as your weakest player. I do believe that. So like, for me, it's like, there's no weak players, because we will just, everyone will have their weaknesses, right? Yeah. But my strength will then strengthen your weakness, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What position did you play?
Well, when I was half decent, I used to play centre mid or CDM, which is like centre mid but defensive. Okay. Now as I'm older and I'm like retired, basically, I'm a defender through and through.
What does that mean?
What?
So, like I get that in terms of the position. Like, you're in central, the centre, in the middle.
Yeah. So it's
what does the defender mean?
The defender.
Yeah.
Like at the back line, so we're protecting the goal. Like, we're the final line.
Okay, fine.
We do not want to be broken.
Okay, fine.
We need to get the ball back up there.
Got you.
So we can go score.
Got you. Yeah. Got you. Who is the player on the pitch that does the most up in and down? Yeah,
I would say a centre mid.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends what formation you're playing, but when I played CDM, so it's a centre mid defensive, that I don't believe that done as much work as like the CM in front of me, because she would literally be box to box.
Okay.
So like, if the play's up that side of the pitch, she's up that side of the pitch. If the play comes back down, she's up. Do you know what I mean? Really, just basically the engine and pulling the strings.
Got you.
That's what I would say, but I'm pretty sure other footballers out there that play in different positions would probably say their position.
But it's honestly, it's so admirable to commit to something like that, especially as a woman, and all those years ago. To be playing football at that level. What else goes into like training to be a footballer from like a lifestyle perspective? Do they say, okay, you've got to go gym this much, commitment. Or do you have to eat certain things, discipline. Or what other things is there?
Well, I think from a young age, obviously it is choice, because you're still growing, you're still learning and stuff. And I suppose even though we was taught, we had like presentations about like what diet looks like, and what nutrition and what we should be fueling our body with. Yeah. And I did used to listen to it to some degree, but after I'm coming home from school with my pocket money, of course I'm going to get a can of KA and a packet of Alien Crisp. That wasn't in the presentation, but
that's what I want.
But now I can see why those kind of things wasn't in the presentation, because I wasn't nourishing my body the way that I needed to be an athlete. Yes, that's what they were preparing me for. Technically, do you know what I mean? So it is about discipline, and it is about taking it on board and listening to what the experts are telling you, because those people in those rooms were the experts and professionals. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like teaching me, but still, I was still a child at that age. I was still doing what I kind of wanted as well, and I could get away with it at that age. You know, if I wasn't sticking to the plan. But as I got older, I did notice that missing a run, or for example, when I started to drink alcohol, the impacts of that. Difference. Yeah, it's like nah.
You just feel more sluggish?
Yeah, just like, what am I doing? But at the time, you're young. It's hard.
It is.
Navigating certain points in your life. But yeah, I don't regret anything. It's such a great thing. And I think it's really important for the youth to find a hobby. Yeah. And then if they want, and then if they want to take it to the next level, like, you can, but you need to be disciplined and committed, should I say. Yeah. And that could be from sports, that could be from the creatives, that could be from anything, really. If you want to be an author, go write that book. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's so important. It is really important. And I think it helps with character building. It helps with team building as well. It helps also just to like open your mind to everything else that's out there. Because when you're a child, you're nurtured
by your nature, so what's around you. And when you do something that's a little bit outside of what's your traditional day-to-day, so like waking up, going to school, going to an after-school club, coming back, eating, sleeping, repeat. But then when you integrate something you feel passionate about, all of a sudden, the mundane parts don't feel as mundane because you've got something to look forward to.
Yeah, it's an outlet as
it's
well, isn't it?
It's an outlet, exactly.
It
Mine was
is.
dance.
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah,
what kind of style?
Oh, I did everything growing up. I
was
did
it?
tap, ballet, jazz, the whole shebang.
That's how you know about the side talk. That's how you know.
It's giving first position. So, dance was my football. It felt like an outlet for years. I literally, I danced for like 25 years. So I really was like so passionate about just having that thing that just makes me feel come alive. And even now when I can get to training and stuff, I always feel like, oh man, I just needed this for my soul. Like it's not about like getting into performing again or anything like that, unless it kind of makes sense for where I'm heading. But away from that, when I go there, I always feel so...
It's your
release. I always feel alive, and you release. And I think that's a really important point to drive home, especially in light of menstrual cycles.
Yes.
Because we have so much that feels like it holds us back. So finding a release that you can tap into in and around all of that is like, it's been essential for me.
And I think especially like something that is movement.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. 100%. Do you remember when you started your period?
Yes, I was in year 8 and I went to my Christmas disco.
Okay, do you know what's so mad about periods? It's just gonna come.
It
Christmas
just
disco.
Said, and this is probably too much info, but I'm gonna share it anyway.
We're here.
Dad, please don't be watching this. So for the Christmas disco, like me and my friends, because we was allowed to go out shopping to get our outfit. So we went to the shopping mall, Bromley, should I say, Bromley Shopping Centre. And one of my mate, Louise, if she ever watches this, she basically bought us all thongs. Bear in mind, I've never wore, obviously.
And on the first time, it's so painful.
So I was like, and it was pink with these little flowers. I said, oh, that's cute. I said, where's the rest of the material? But anyways, I was like, yeah, okay, fine, we're all wearing it. Bear in mind, nobody is going to see this other than us. So I don't even know where. At 13,
it's not making sense.
It's not making no sense. But okay, here we are. So I'm there, and then I'm in this disco, and I'm like, no, my belly don't feel right. I was cramping actually throughout the whole day. But I just thought maybe I'd eaten something dodgy. Okay. I was gonna go to the toilet at some point.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I'm getting a shooting pain. I go to the toilet. I said, what in the brown earth is this? Anyways, as I said, I don't want to share too much info. I know, in fact, let's talk about it.
I'm about to say,
I was like, what is this brown dischargey thing here now? Like, I've never seen anything like this in my knickers. So I'm like, say knickers on this one piece of string, basically. So then I've called my mum. I said, I need to be exported out of here immediately because this is what's going on. I needed to show her, innit? Because obviously I show my mum everything. So I was like, and then she was like, oh, I think you might be starting your ladies. You know, because people don't talk about periods, do they? They just say all other code words.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't understand crying.
Really? You started crying?
I just started crying. Because I had football that weekend as well. We was wearing the white kit. The white kit I used to wear. So I'm just there crying. She's like, oh, it's okay. You're growing up. I don't want to grow up.
Trust me, it's a scam.
Yeah, I was like, don't tell no one. The first word I hear is my mum downstairs to my dad. Oh, Demi started. I'm like, oh, you said you wasn't going to tell no one. Then when I go to my nan's, oh, you're all right. Like, everyone's just moving weird around me. I said, Mum, what are you telling everyone my business for? But yeah, so the first, it took a few days for it to actually come out full-fledged. But like, you know, the brown discharge for a few days. And then, the period hit. But when it hit, I was like, oh, this is different. This is uncomfortable. Like, even adjusting to wearing sanitary products, it's like, and then like in school, it's like, I need to change. But your teacher's telling you to wait till lunch. That's 2 periods away. So now I'm worried that people think I smell because even though you can't actually smell it, but like you know, there's a distinct iron, like a smell that does come with it, and you just get paranoid because it's the I'm just thinking, what is? I don't know.
This is such a parallel experience.
Yeah, I was like, this is too much for me, and I just do remember like after a few first periods, like the first year of my cycle. I was just like, I don't want this. Like, this is not for me. I'm an athlete who I want to play football. Like, what do I need this for?
Yeah,
But obviously, when you're taught these things in school, sorry, I'm going to do that because I feel like I wasn't really taught. I was kind of just skimmed over, like, you're
Like
going to have your
most of us were.
monthlies. Like, I get it, you know, you have to have these for this and that. But it's just like, at the time I just didn't want, I weren't about it. But yeah.
How did you then manage it with football then?
Yeah, so on a football day, so as I got heavier, as I got older, I started to get heavier.
Okay.
But and I was very paranoid. So I just remember I used to wear like 6 pairs of knickers. And I used to get like cuts, like sores, where they were like rubbing in all different directions.
It's almost like chafing. And
but because they're 6, like they're not the same knickers. They're like, you know, one would be high, one be low. Some got little, like, actually embarrassing. Just because I didn't want to go to my mum and be like, I need something else. Yeah. I just thought I'd just be resourceful with what I've got, you know, because I just didn't want to bother people with it. But yeah, like, I used to be so paranoid. And then one day, one of the girls leaked in our white kit, and I was like, oh gosh. My heart sank because to me, that would have been one of the most embarrassing things for me at that age if that would have happened to me. But I was like, I had empathy like for her, and I was like, like, what do? We don't want to make a thing of it, but at the same time, we have to tell her that she's leaked through her thing. And our manager, bless him, is an older guy, and he's like, oh, one of the mums goes to him, oh, I think we've got a problem, and he's like, oh, what do I do here then? Oh, could I get some help? Like, to the mums. But it's true. Yeah. And then
it's
I remember
that education piece for them as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember it to this day. Like, my dad was driving to the match because he was running late. And I said, oh, don't worry, my dad will be able to get some stuff from the shop. So I've nominated my dad to go to the shop. I call him. I'm like, Dad, you need to go to the shop. And I said, you know the things that me and Mum have? Like the sanitary products. And he goes, I know you haven't. I know you're joking. I said, what? He went, you've just nominated me to go into a shop and ask for women's stuff. And I said, but you know what it is? He's like, Demi, that's not the point. Men don't go into shops asking for sanitary products. Like, he didn't even say sanitary products. He was still calling it. So, but he was getting really upset. And I was like, but Dad, you do everything. It's fine. And he's like,
it'll be fine.
Oh, he stitched me up. So then apparently he told me recently, like, you know, I went on the phone to your mum. I had to go and she had to talk me through what I had to go through. I was so embarrassed in this shop. And he was like, obviously I realise how important it is now. But at the time, that was like one of the worst calls to get.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
I was like, but it shouldn't be a thing, should it? Like, a man should be able to go and get.
Yeah, but it's that taboo still.
Think about like single dads out there that have got children, like young girls. Like, you know,
it's the taboo around it, and also that like idea that as soon as someone says period, you think,
I know. Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, it's mad.
We need to normalise saying
it. Exactly.
It's like come like it's a swear word.
Yeah, or like it means like something mad is happening.
Yeah, like, you know the code words for like bomb and
yeah. Oh, what is it again?
What is it, Mr. Jet? Jet Black? No, Mr. Jet. Mr. Jet.
Is it Mr. Jet?
Is it Mr. Jet or fire? Oh, I used to know this. Why don't I know it? Oh,
there's also one for like if something mad happens if there's a terrorist attack.
Yeah, like a code word. Something jet. I don't know where I got jet from.
Someone's probably saying it, watching or listening to this right now. Like, it's this.
Yeah, fam.
Yeah, but yeah.
Comment down below.
This is literally. But yeah, she leaked, and then your dad came with everything.
Yeah, came with the products needed for it. And I think we had some spare shorts and stuff. I can't even remember how it ended, but I just know I was thinking that can't happen to me, so I'm going to keep wearing my 6 pairs of knickers when I'm on my period. Obviously, eventually, I realised that I was doing way too much, and that I could probably get away with 2.
You know, as opposed to 6.
Yes. Just the second one was a very tight pair to keep it. So I got round to it in the end, and then I got cycle shorts. To be fair, as I got older, but navigating it was hard to begin with, and then you just find a way. And I think as I was so passionate about it, I didn't necessarily want to ever miss football. So if I ever turned around to my dad and was like, or my mum, like, I can't go, like, they would know that something wrong is like happening. Yeah. And it did start to get to the point where I was like, oh, I don't even know if I can play, like, I'm in so much pain. My dad would typically be like, oh, it's just a period. Like, you're right. And I'd be like, yeah, it's just a period. All right, I'm all right. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'd put myself through it. And it did build my resilience, and it did build me. But actually, was it all right at that time? Should I have been resting? When I reflect on it. But I just got on with it. but yeah, as I turned into an adult, like if I have a full blown flare, I just know I'm not as youthful, so I need to take time.
Take time out. Yeah, I hear it.
And I think that's with our cycle, the phases. Like when you're younger, I feel like I don't know, maybe you just, I don't know. I'm not an expert with it, but I pushed my body to certain levels that I know I wouldn't be able to do now in my 30s.
Yeah, I did the same. I did the same. And now understanding the phases, I give myself grace especially when I'm at the tail end of luteal and going into menstrual.
Yes.
On my menstrual phase, literally in my journal, at the top of it, there's a bit that says this week's intention. So you get to write like an intention for what your week is. And every month when I'm on my menstrual, it says essential tasks only. That's my intention.
Oh, wow.
I'm not trying to do, especially if my life allows for it, because there's sometimes where there's like lots going on and actually you kind of have to find a way to just like lean in a little bit more or like cancel, not even necessarily cancel certain things. I don't really like doing that because I'm a big advocate for finding ways to continue to live your life as harmoniously as possible without letting your period be too disruptive. But that is definitely on a scale based on whether you suffer with heavy menstrual bleeding or endo or adenomyosis or PCOS or fibroids or whatever it is. But on that week, because I now do that, I literally feel so much more empowered in my life. Like giving myself the space to maybe do 5 things in a week as opposed to 10. And then I know when I get to follicular phase, I am like non-stop. But not even because I'm trying to play catch up. It's because my energy's up.
The energy,
so naturally, I just feel better. So I am actually doing this and this and this and that. And then as it flows, I actually feel, as I said, I feel so much more empowered. And from that empowerment piece, when did you feel like something wasn't quite right and you sought medical advice because you have endometriosis? So how did you find that out and what was that journey?
It was a long battle. To be honest with you, I suppose it was when I started to get in like serious relationships and was more sexually active, I'm going to say. And then I feel like that triggered a whole different level of like pain, like with certain things. Like just in like with me every month, like my flares would just become a lot, like my period would just become a lot more painful. And I was just like, what's happening? So I just kept going back to the doctors and just was telling them my symptoms about like my numb legs, my severe back aches and pains. At one point, I thought it was like my appendix. Like loads of different things, just kept going back. But I kept getting told that I had like IBS.
Yeah, that's where they start. I've had that.
So they gave me laxatives. Said I had, I don't even know what it was. The opposite to when you go to the toilet a lot. But Anyways, and then they checked my bloods and stuff, and they said that I had high prolactin, which is like I don't know, the way they explained it to me is a hormone that you produce when you're breastfeeding. And I was like, I was so confused. I was like, but that's not me because I don't, that's not applicable for me. And they was like, and then they were like, you got a benign tumor in your brain. So not that it was cancerous or anything like that, but it was just like an overgrowth. And they was like, not to worry about that, but that's probably what's contributing to that.
There's
so I'm like,
a lot of things
I'm
going
like, are
on
you
here.
sure? And then, a lot of Google. For me, I was just doing a lot of Googling. But I was just saying yes to everything that they were saying to me. And it just got to the point where like every month I was dreading my period and mentally it really started to have a toll on me and actually started to impact my relationships. So just before I got my diagnosis, the relationship that I was in and out of at that time, we had been like trying to conceive, and that wasn't happening. So I was like, because obviously I'm like, I'm ovulating, like surely
should all
this
be making sense.
So pushed for it a bit more, and then got seen by gynae, and basically had my keyhole surgery, and was told that I was at stage 3 endometriosis and that I had scarred fallopian tubes so that I wouldn't be able to naturally conceive.
When did you get that news? How old were you?
I was 26, just turned 26. I know, it was really horrible as well because I was like coming off of the anaesthetic and I was a bit out of it. And normally I would have my mum there or someone, and I was on my own. And I remember this consultant, and this needs to be talked about as well because it's like, just come in with like no
empathy.
Yeah. And
matter of fact.
Yeah, this. Like, you've just reeled off a name that I've never heard of. I've never heard of endometriosis before that man said it to me.
Yeah, yeah. So I need you to explain it.
Yeah, like, what is that? And then on top of that, you said adenomyosis. What is that? Is that the same thing? Like, these two big words, blocked fallopian tubes.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So when he said that, I'm just thinking, blocked fallopian tubes, ain't that where you get to your ovaries? So I'm still out of it, you know. I was just like, and I just remember I started crying. Started crying, and the baby in me was just like, I just want my mum.
Yeah.
I was like, and I said, can you tell my mum that when she comes, because I'm a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
So they tell you initially, and then afterwards, like when you're recovered or you're getting discharged, they go through it again. So obviously the second time around, I had a lady actually, and it did. To be fair, I feel like she delivered it a bit better. And, you know, and also said things like, you know, that you could be put on you could get IVF, so it doesn't mean that you won't be able to have a child. Because obviously they're the kind of things that I was steering towards.
Yeah.
But also I was like, is this going to relieve the pain that I've been going through?
Because that's the primary thing right now.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, it could get worse before it gets better. And I'm thinking, what do you mean worse?
Yeah, that news is...
Yeah, and I remember the first period post-surgery, I was
treacherous.
like, I said, they've done something to me.
Yeah.
I said, they have cut me or they have burnt me wrong because this is not okay. Like, it's probably one of the worst periods that I had. And I was like, surely not. But it turns out I had an infection. Yeah, as well. So I had to go back in. I don't know, they put like antibiotics in you after your surgery or something like that. But the infection was, treacherous. And I remember I was in A&E and I was like, no, I don't care who needs to see down here, but someone needs to go up there.
Help me right now.
I was like, help me. I laugh about it now, but I was so done. I didn't care what doctor come through that door. I just needed them to make sure I was okay.
Yeah.
But he said that I had an infection. They gave me some antibiotics and stuff to put, but like it didn't heal overnight. Do you know what I mean? I was still in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was so validating to hear that I had something.
Yes.
And I wasn't going crazy, and it wasn't just a period.
Yes.
As I was told for so many years.
That's so important. And sometimes people do, and I get it, like it can feel nerve-wracking when you do get that news and you do get a diagnosis, but actually it starts to bring some clarity to what you were maybe made to feel like was in your head. Yeah. Or so many women have been made to feel like it's in their head.
Yeah.
Or that you're like, is it just me? Does anyone else go through this? And then when there's a name to it, you're like, now I actually have more context and more information so I can not necessarily move on, but move through this.
Yeah, and understand it a bit more. Yeah. Like, I'm still learning to this day, but like, you know, some of the foods that I eat, like literally, because it's to do with inflammation as well, I was inflaming up myself all the time. Yeah, and like, and I'm not going to lie, I sit here and be like, you know, I do anti-inflammatory all the time and stuff like that. But like, I do notice with me, everyone's different, so no one like quote me for this, but I know certain foods that really do trigger a flare and foods that help me with my...
Calm it down.
Yeah.
What, if you could give an example of one of each?
So for me, I love cheese so much. Alcohol. I've cut out alcohol, but like cocktails like your rum punch.
I don't know if I can ever give that up, I'll be honest.
I'm not saying I'm going to give it up, but like, it's not every
It's
month.
not every time.
Yeah. Not every month. I'm just sacrificing May, June and July.
Yeah, the hot girl summer, we can do
it.
The hot but girl outside summer, of that.
I can sacrifice a few days in the hot girl summer to be curled up in the ball because I've decided to have the rum punch and wind up my waistline at the carnival. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, seriously, all jokes aside. Yeah, and then red meat as well, you know. It's so hard because then when you're low in iron, they tell you to eat the red meat, and I donate blood when I can as well.
Okay, that's nice.
So yeah, but when I can.
Yeah.
Because there's been times that I've gone to donate blood. If it depends on where I am in my cycle.
Even that plays a part.
Yeah, it plays. I can't donate when I'm on or just after my period because I'm always low in iron.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. But obviously, when I was kept going, and I'm like, well, how am I getting denied? And they're telling me I've got to wait 3 months to go back. I'm like, oh. So now obviously it's hard to plan when you're going to donate as well because there's limited appointments sometimes. But now I'm just like, I just cancel if I'm on.
Yeah.
We're just wasting your time.
Just for ease. Yeah.
But yeah, so got my diagnosis, 26, and to be honest with you, it was validating, but it really took a toll on my confidence and it's made me question my worth And it's so sad reflecting back on it now, but it definitely impacted on like my behaviours at the time as well. And just like self-sabotaging, imposter, all of that stuff. Like I would say growing up, I was very confident, but in that period, I was searching for my identity again. Like it was really strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. Then I went on to a show.
Yep.
Where I decided to tell the whole world my business.
And how did that come about? Do you have to apply? Do they?
Yeah, I applied.
Okay.
So the way that worked for me, it was the year I was turning 30. Sorry,
Okay.
I was 29.
Yeah.
And I was turning 30, and I was watching season 4, the American one, with Tiffany and Brett falling in love. I don't know if you've watched that.
I didn't watch that one. I don't
Girl,
think.
when you get time, go watch that one. Tiffany and Brett's love story is like my reason.
Yeah.
Because I was in my studio flat, feeling sorry for myself, watching this beautiful love story unfold, and was like, I just want that. Like, and I was like, I'm about to turn 30. My younger brother's expecting his first child. I just want my person, and I just want to build. Yeah. And then I was watching this story, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that could work for me. And I remember I just went online to type to basically Tiffany and Brett, Love is Blind, just to find out more, being inner.
Yeah.
And it was like, coming to the UK, apply now. I was like, well, Love is Blind, coming to the UK.
Look at that.
I said immediately. I clicked on it. I was on my sofa.
That.
Yeah, I was in my PJs, messy bun, hair everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't even think, I was having like one of them binge weekends, so I don't think anything was working. Like I was just,
Yeah, just at home in yourself.
Yeah, in myself. Crumbs and all.
Yeah.
And I remember I clicked on it and it said do a 30-second clip of why you want to go on there. And no joke, one take, I just picked up my phone, clicked on it. It's like, hi, I'm just sitting on my sofa feeling lonely, watching Tiffany and Brett fall in love. My younger brother, I just want to find my person, And the next day, I got a call from casting and was like, loved how real your thing was. And I was like, oh great, I was like, is this a joke? You joking?
Yeah.
But then obviously there's way more rounds to it. But when I actually got the confirmation that I was going on the show, I was like, I'm gonna go find my man. And I really, really believe in the concept of falling in love, sight unseen, because I do really believe that emotional connection is everything.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah, basically I was like, oh. So it started off as a thing of oh yeah, that's what I want. Obviously I did want that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't actually believe that I was going to get on the show.
I've got so many questions, but I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
I know.
But with that said, going through the Love is Blind process, from the outside looking in, and I think so many people can attest to this, we literally saw you transition from this woman who I think is really relatable to a lot of single women in their 30s, which is, I just want to find my person.
Yeah.
I just want to find my person.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy. I literally have so much love to give, and I have so much that I want to receive on the other end, and I just want to find my person. And we saw your self-worth and your self-value just grow episode on episode on episode on episode. And honestly, it was visible. And I literally watched it thinking, oh my gosh, this girl is just coming into more and more and more and more of herself. And when you got to the aisle, my mum actually, she doesn't really watch them programs. But all of a sudden, she was skipping through the episodes. And she was like, have you seen what's happened with Demi? And I was like, no. She's like, oh my gosh, when you've watched it, let me know. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And then when I saw you and the decision you made, and the reason I'm not saying what decision you made is because I don't know if people are going to go back. If they've not watched Love is Blind UK, you should, because it's a really interesting approach from a geographical perspective, because living in Britain is very different to being in the States. Yeah. But based on the decision you made, I literally felt like this is absolutely the decision that makes sense for the love journey you've been
100%.
on, and the self-love journey you went on, and the almost personal self-worth conclusion you came to, 100%. Which is actually the love I have for you is there, but I have to honor who I've now become.
And the love I deserve.
Yes.
In return.
Yeah, and it was literally so beautiful. And I think it's easy to just feel there's a love here, let's just go with it.
And I feel like a lot of the time we do that because we form attachments to make ourselves feel validated or comfortable in that. But I actually refuse to settle in life now.
Same.
Like, because I feel like I've just worked so hard on who I am and what I want from someone, but also what I can offer someone.
Absolutely.
And actually, if it's not it, it's not it. Because I think a lot of the time I've been so adaptable in the past and been like, oh, well, this is good and that's good, so I'm just going to pretend that everything else is okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to make excuses for that. But actually, no, that's not okay. I think you get to a point where you realise what your non-negotiables are and the things that you are willing to compromise on.
Yeah.
I think you actually get to a point where you understand your values and your morals.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, if there's no alignment in this,
then
you
can just...
Yeah. And this is no indirect saying to anyone, but this is just where I'm at in terms of...
And just your life holistically as well, I imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
it was so
it gets
beautiful.
to that. But the importance of loving yourself and prioritizing yourself is a big one. And I do believe that, like, if you continue to do that, the right person will fall in alignment with you along the way.
Yeah.
And we can't rush it. That's the one big lesson that I learned, you know, like from the day that I applied for Love is Blind, I was in a space of like, I want this and that. And it was because it was a lot of comparison as well. Like I was, you know, thinking, oh, I'm in my 30s. I'm about to be in my 30s. I did say to myself when I was younger, I would be married and settled down with kids by this time. I put a lot of pressure on myself.
Yeah, as we all do,
and was like, oh, yeah, like, I want to do this because that's what I need. But actually, no, Demi, what do you actually need? You need to be grateful for the things that you've achieved and what you've got around you. You need to be present and live in the moment. And you also need to continue to work on your worth and your growth. Like, and then, you know,
the right person, as you said.
Sometimes passive love is okay too. Like, I've got a lot of love from friends and family. I'm so loved. And that's what that show made me realise is that, hold on a minute, I'm talking about I want to find my person. I've got plenty of people. And it also showed me, I ain't going to be calling everyone my friend from the foreseeable because actually, what do you define as a friend? You know, I've differentiated between a friend and an acquaintance.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I actually sit back and I think about all the people that were there for me after that process, like, I'm very grateful, but I know where like people...
Where the line was.
It's crazy. But
And I think love highlights so many different things and the journey of love highlights so many different things. And I'm just so glad that... Because, again, this is like a mirrored experience because I've had this feeling for like a long time. I've now got to a point where I feel exactly the same as you in terms of the right love will fall in alignment. It's often like a bit of a plot twist sometimes. And I think even just being open to what that could be has made me a lot more excited for who the next love is. And hopefully that person becomes my forever person. And
that's beautiful as well because like your intention is to date to find your person. Do you know what I mean? And I think as long as people communicate correctly as well and are transparent and honest, then, you know, that can happen. But unfortunately, in this dating world...
this dating world and day and age.
People not always doing that.
But
dating with intention.
Very important.
Obviously, a big part of my story on Love is Blind as well is about me talking about endometriosis and the love I got from the endo community and just the community as a whole, like women. And then I'm running the London Marathon.
Which is such an achievement.
Oh my
When
gosh.
is it?
It's the 27th of April. The day I turned 32. Running it on my birthday.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I love that for me as well. Normally I have a birthday party every year and I ask people to donate. I always do like a GoFundMe and give to charities. But I say always for the last 2 years. But
I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah, so I've got GoFundMe and I'm raising money for 3 different charities. One's called Go Make a Difference in Tanzania. I've been working with them since I was 17 because I went out there and built like a water tank.
Wow.
And then I went out there last year. When Love is Blind come out, I was actually out there. So I didn't actually watch the first part of the show until I got back. And I was helping build like goat sheds and was going to the leprosy community. Yeah, like it was honestly what they do out there. It's beautiful. So if you want to go check that out, Go Make a Difference in Tanzania. And then there's Menstrual Health Project that I'm going to be...
I love those ladies.
Yeah, I love them as well.
They're so...
And I met Gabby in person as well.
They're lovely.
BBC Breakfast. So I love what they're doing. And then another one called Lost Soul, which is a homeless charity. It's very small, but it's my friends. And I love seeing what people are doing. And it falls in alignment. So basically running the London Marathon and then gonna distribute funds to those charities.
And it's a change in season, a change in all of the things.
Yeah,
I love that.
Be intentional with stepping into my 32.
Yeah.
And hopefully be the fittest. I need to get fit this year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, same.
I've said that every year.
I say that every year, but we have to keep
saying
it.
Yeah.
We have to keep saying it until it actually happens. But oh my gosh, this has been such a pleasure.
No, thank you for so much for having me and everything you're doing in this space as well. It's very important. And I think the younger Demi would be so appreciative of the conversations that you're having if my ears were able to hear that at that age. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I appreciate that.
So I hope this does get the reach that it needs to get. And I just look forward to seeing all the amazing work that you're going to continue to do.
You're so lovely. Yay. The millennials do this, isn't it? I don't know
too much finger. What's all
is
of
it
that?
this?
I don't know. Is it that one?
It's like this.
It's like a double heart. Oh, I like this one.
We don't know what we're doing.
Can't we just stick to that?
Honest.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're older. We're millennials, so we do this.
In my 30s now.
Do you know what I mean? But it's been a pleasure.
And
I think, it's just really admirable to have seen your journey. And we're behind you every step of the way. So plug your socials, where people can follow you and what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and it's Demi Santana-Brown.
Nice and
like.
easy.
Give us a follow. I don't know. I don't know. Just follow me. Follow my journey. I'm on a journey.
There we go. There we go. Well, thank you guys so much for listening as usual. All of Demi's information will be in the show notes. Like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed it. But until the next one. Love you. Bye.